All right, recording. This is Dr. Wolf. If you're listening to this, you're one of the new ones. So, welcome. Look, this isn't going to be like your official orientation briefing. Think of this more as a personal log. A bit of advice from someone who's managed to stick around for a decade.
You see, orientation covered all the procedures. You've probably got the handbooks memorized by now. Protocols, emergency codes, the whole 9 yards. And don't get me wrong, that stuff's important, but it only tells you what to do. I'm here to talk about how you're going to survive doing it. Because trust me, no rulebook on earth can prepare you for the toll this place takes. And it sure as hell won't keep you sane.
You have to understand something right now. Our work, it exists at the extremes. Seriously. 1 minute you could be documenting an entity that literally eats memories, and the next, you're having your lunch break with, well, a creature that cures PTSD by tickling you. We contain unimaginable, soul-crushing horror, right alongside inexplicable wonder. Learning to deal with that whiplash, sometimes in the same hallway, is probably the most important thing you'll ever learn here.
So, let's start with the horror. I know you've read about the object classes, but I really need you to feel what Keter actually means. It's not just some label on a file, it's a promise. It's a promise of a constant, grinding, never-ending fight against something that just refuses to be contained. It's a war, and every single day our only goal is to not lose.
And if you want to know what Keter looks like, well, meet SCP-682. This thing, it isn't just some big lizard. It's smart, it's adaptive, and it hates every single living thing with a kind of passion that just shouldn't be possible. We keep it swimming in a vat of hydrochloric acid, and you know what? That's not to kill it. We can't. It's just to slow it down. This thing can regenerate from being almost completely destroyed, and every time it comes back, it's learned something new. It is our absolute baseline for an existential threat.
Now look at this chart. Those aren't numbers. They're people. They were colleagues. Some of them were my friends. This is the real cost of keeping 682 locked up. And believe me, this is just a short list from the breaches where we got lucky. Every day, it's testing the walls. Every single day is another chance for a new number to get added to this list.
And this right here is why. After one of the breaches, we managed to ask it why it killed the personnel it did. Its response? It said they were disgusting. That's it. There's no grand plan, no complex motive. It's just pure, undiluted hatred for all of existence. You can't reason with that. And you can never, ever forget it.
But you can't live there, you know? You can't just stare into that kind of abyss day in and day out without something to pull you back. And that's where the other extreme of this job comes in. Honestly, it's the only reason any of us are still here. It's the only reason this whole place hasn't just collapsed under its own weight.
I mean, just look at this. It's almost comical, isn't it? On one hand, you have Keter class, world-ending rage that we have to keep dissolved in acid. And on the other, you have a safe class, free-roaming blob of pure, unadulterated joy. This isn't some textbook comparison. This is your life now. Get used to that feeling of cognitive dissonance. It's part of the uniform.
So this is SCP-999. It's a big, friendly blob of orange slime. Smells like whatever makes you happiest. For me, it's usually fresh coffee. You touch it and you just feel good, a kind of pure euphoria. It has this incredible ability to sense when someone's hurting, and it will literally track them down and just cuddle them until they feel better. For a lot of us, a session with 999 isn't a perk, it's basically a prescription.
And that brings me to the most important story I can probably ever tell you. When you work in a place like this, you can't help but ask, what if, right? What if we could use one of these things to neutralize another? We had the ultimate force for good and the ultimate agent of hate. The experiment, well, it was always going to happen.
At first, it went exactly how you'd think. 682 just called 999 disgusting and squashed it flat. But then, something impossible happened. 999 just oozed back together and started tickling it. And 682, it started to laugh. It laughed so hard it just passed out, with a smile on its face. For 15 minutes. For 15 glorious minutes, we thought we'd done it. We thought we had won. And then it woke up.
I was in the observation booth. I heard this with my own ears, coming over the intercom. This creature of pure, bottomless hate, giggling, repeating the word happy. It was, and I am not exaggerating, the most hopeful and the most terrifying sound I have ever heard in my life. And we all let our guard down. We let ourselves believe, and that was our biggest mistake.
Here's the part that really matters, the part that kind of gloss over in the official report. 682 didn't just resist the euphoria, it absorbed it. It twisted it. It turned it into a weapon. That pure, healing energy that 999 gives off became fuel for its destruction.
It blasted out this wave of energy, and everyone in range was just incapacitated, paralyzed by these crippling fits of laughter. And while we were all lying on the floor, helpless, gasping for air, it breached containment and started a massacre. The only reason anyone got out of that sector alive is because that little slime creature, 999, dragged them to safety one by one.
After we finally got it recontained, it made its feelings on the matter pretty clear. The experiment didn't just fail to calm it down, it gave 682 a brand new, very specific target for all of that endless hate. So we didn't just fail, we actually made things worse. Which, of course, brings us to the big, blinking question, right? If SCP-999's gift can be turned into a weapon like that, why in the world is it still allowed to roam the halls? Why would we ever take that risk again?
And the answer is, well, it's simple. Because we're human. The honest truth is we can't afford not to keep it. The psychological damage this job does is immense. The things you are going to see, the choices you will have to make, they leave scars. SCP-999 isn't a pet. It's a critical piece of medical equipment for our minds. We need it. We need it to survive this place.
So what's the lesson here? What do I want you to take away from this story? First, use the resources you have. Go see 999. Don't be a hero and try to tough it out alone, because you won't. Second, you have to understand that hope is a double-edged sword. It'll keep you going, but it can also make you stupid. Third, never assume anything here is predictable. The moment you think you know what's going to happen, you're already in trouble. And last, never ever forget what's really down that hall.
That's really the heart of it. We tried to fight absolute hate with absolute joy, and all we did was create a laughing catastrophe. We learned the hard way that the universe doesn't give a damn about our nice little stories of good versus evil. It just is. Your job is to deal with that reality. So you've heard the story, you've seen what failure costs, and you've seen the terrible price of hope. My only question for you now is, what are you going to do to survive? End of log.